So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the
All right, guys, welcome back. Thursday afternoon, February 15th. Hope you have all been having a great afternoon. Let's see where we're at. I'm just coming back inside from working on some of my outdoor projects. AMC at 488, holding at about 1.7% up on the day. GME 1442, basically flat for the day. Palantir at 2534, up about half a point. And the SPY holding almost at 502. Nice run on all the indexes I see here. We got the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, and the Russell 2000 all well in the green for the day. And we're going to check on some other stocks here real quick while we're waiting for folks to come in. Let's go to the big screen. BMR down 36% today at 1023. Low in the morning, $9, and it's held in that $11 range for the bulk of the day, but starting to trend down here as we close out the day. Lunar, the company named Intuitive Machines, ticker LUNR, still up a healthy amount today, 32%, 31.5 at 656 on news that finally breaking that they are on the SpaceX mission. We have a few tickers that we're going to be watching when market closes today. Applied Materials, Coinbase, DoorDash, DraftKings, Open Door, Roku, Toast, and the Trade Desk, to name a few. And we'll look at those more in detail once the market closes. All of our pre-market companies that reported earnings today still in the red on bad news, especially John Deere, Penn, and Yeti. Crocs continues to move up after their earnings announcement today. Record fourth quarter. On our blue chip list, this is what we like to see. Pretty much a lot of green. We got Amazon down a little bit, AMD and Apple both down. Hasbro having a little trouble today. Google down a couple percent. Nvidia holding at 729, just under 730, down 1.25%. Starbucks in the red, and Waste Management slightly in the red. Tesla having a great day today, 197. Love to see that. And I see an article over here on CNBC. Let's see what this says. Ford CEO tells Wall Street to forget Tesla, says pro-business is the future of the auto industry. Let's see what Jim Farley has to say more in detail. Arguing that investors should focus on Ford's pro-fleet business. Ford Pro is made up of the automaker's traditional fleet and commercial business, as well as emerging telematics, logistics, and other connective operations for business customers. Ford expects the Pro unit's pre-tax earnings to increase between $8 billion and $9 billion per year, the automaker said earlier this month. Let's see how Ford's doing I want to look at a daily chart on Tesla going back. Let's go back about 12 months. $118 up to $197 currently, so not quite 100% gainer. Let's look at Ford over the past year. They were at about $967, and they're just at around $12.50 right now. I'm going to need to dig through this press release earlier this month and see what this is all about. But typically I've avoided automakers like Ford over the long haul just because they're so damn boring. We did have this nice spike in 2022, but over the long haul, going back all the way to 2002, it's been hard to make money on a company like Ford. Shake Shack up 20% on fourth quarter profit. I did not know that they had their earnings today. Let's see about this. Let me know if you're a Shake Shack fan. We do have, I think we have one or two in Austin. I'm not a big necessarily Shake Shack fan. Not high on my list of places to go to, but it's an okay meal. Company reported total revenue of $286 million and a strong outlook for 2024, expecting revenue to grow by 11 to 15% with 80 new restaurants opening this year. Let's see how they look up on the chart. You know, in Texas, we have Whataburger. That's your competition for Shake Shack. And we have our own version of a Shake Shack or a Five Guys, at least here in my town, called Mighty Fine Burgers. All handmade right in front of you. You can even see into the kitchen. Grandma Lou, good afternoon. Mark, good afternoon. I think Shake Shack, Mark, probably is based out of California. Here's what a Mighty Fine burger looks like. They're shakes. You can watch them scoop real ice cream right out of the freezer to make your shake. And you can watch them cut the fries right there. Everything that they do, you can see them hand rolling the beef patties. I'll tell you, I'm not a huge eater, but when I go with my son or my wife, and if I get a burger with bacon and cheese and a shake, I literally almost feel sick from being so full. It doesn't look like a lot, but when it's quality ingredients, it fills you up. $8.99 for a half-pound burger. Add $1 for cheese. Add another $1.49 for bacon. It's not cheap to get quality. And the 20-ounce shake is $6. I wonder if they have a picture into their kitchen. The other funny thing about this restaurant, when you go in the men's room, the wall facing into the restaurant is one-way glass, which is a little bit disconcerting as you're in the bathroom and you can just see everybody eating, walking around out there. But allegedly, they can't see inside. I don't see any pictures here. Anyways, pictures of what the locations look like. It'd be nice to see what the inside looked like, but they don't have it here. Anyways, back to Shake Shack. Stock reached a new 52-week high of $95.80 and is up more than 50% in the last 12 months. Let's look at what's their ticker? Shack. Let's look and see what their revenue chart looks like. on an annual basis. That is pretty nice. That's what we want to see. Let's see if they're translating that growth. I'm sure a lot of that is coming from adding locations. Operating income, not so good. 3 years of negative operating income and 3 years of negative net income. So that comes with the territory sometimes when you're growing, but that would be something that I'd want to dig into if I was thinking about buying a Shake Shack. Understanding when the turnaround is going to come on the earnings per share. Now that was on a quarterly basis. That was on an annual basis, and when we convert it to a quarterly basis, they have generated 2 profitable quarters in the past 2 quarters. So maybe they're on the brink of a turnaround. Maybe, yeah, that'd be something to dig into. Balance sheet, long-term debt, they've got $708 million. They have been growing their debt as the company is growing. Cash is getting drawn down from almost $400 million to $190 million over the last 3 or 4 years. Working capital is fine, looking at current assets to current liabilities. So there's a couple of things that you'd want to understand on here, but it's not horrible. And let me just see if they've been doing any dilution. No, they've been not really. And analysts have a forecast of $75 for Shake Shack. It's up 25% today to $97. So I wonder if we'll get any analyst upgrades based on the company's most recent earnings and guidance for 2024. But some of these prices that analysts have for Shake Shack were as recent as a couple days ago, $80, $82, $88, and we're already above that. So that would also give me pause to jump in. And maybe the analysts will upgrade their price targets based on today's news. Maybe they won't. Let's see, where are they out of? Shack. I have one Shake Shack about 5 minutes from me. Every time I go there, I always enjoy it, but it's not like the best burger I've ever had. It's not bad. They are headquartered in New York. And their crinkle fries are what people like. And I think they do have some decent shakes and frozen custard there also. You know what else is really good that we have here that we like to go to is another place called Hop Dotties. And I think that they are expanding nationwide also. But I don't think that they are a public company. These are probably even more expensive than Mighty Fine. But it gets more into the man, the color on these photos is not the best. But they're more of a gourmet type burger. You got the Buffalo Bill. It's got buffalo cheese and probably some buffalo sauce on there. The Good Night cheddar cheese, caramelized onions, jalapenos, caffeinated barbecue sauce, lettuce and tomato. This is one of my favorite, the Magic Shroom, goat cheese, mushrooms, onion mayo, and a basil pesto sauce. Here we've got Mother Nature with a beef patty, an egg, some fried cheese they call cheese frico, caramelized onions, and an aioli. What else do we get from time to time? The double bacon jam. Oh man, this one's good. 2 quarter-pound beef patties topped with yellow and white American cheese, a bacon jam, which you can also buy bacon jam at the grocery store to spice up your homemade burgers. Give that a try. Mustard, grilled onions, and pickled mayo. Man, this is making me hungry. You got your classic burger, a ground chicken. This restaurant, I think, got sued for not offering a veggie burger, and they told the lady to toss off. Chicken bacon ranch, and ahi tuna, farmhouse deluxe, and El Bandito. Oh, we do have a veggie option here, but it has goat cheese on it. Black beans and corn patty. I've never tried this one. Probably never will. Black bean and corn patty topped with goat cheese, avocado, arugula, tomato, onion, chipotle, aioli, and basil pesto. I mean, if I didn't eat beef, that would sound pretty good. And they have a full bar here. All kinds of beer, wine, lots of shit on tap. And it's a good place just to go have a... Oh, and the fries. Did we talk about the fries at Hop Dotties? Parmesan truffle fries. Green chili queso fries. They're thin cut. They're crispy. We usually end up getting the Parmesan truffle fries, although the hot honey and sage sweet potato fries are pretty damn good. And you just got your regular sweet potato fries, too. Good stuff. Yeah, Dan, American cheese is just your standard, they call it a cheese product. It's not really cheese, right? But the yellow Kraft square individual slice. It melts real easy, Dan. A lot of people throw that on a burger. And it's cheap. Nutter Butter says, I'm having a heart attack just looking at the screen. All of that stuff, that's like a special meal for us because, again, you're going to be so damn full. We'll each, when I go with my wife or my son for a treat day, we'll each get a burger and maybe a shake, maybe a alcoholic drink, and then we'll split a basket of fries. And again, you just want to come home and take a nap after you go here. It's a lot of calories, a lot of food, but so good. Besides Shake Shack, what is the other burger place that is very famous in California? They have the you can order off the menu. They have animal style. What the heck is that place called? Another one that I don't go to because it's not native Texas. In-N-Out. Yeah. In-N-Out finally came to Texas a few years back. And it's always crowded here, but we have a lot of California transplants in the Austin area. The drive-through when I go by is always full, but I just can't. I've had it. It's always a okay meal. It just doesn't compare to a real Texas burger, in my opinion. It's not bad, just not what I like. Give me a Whataburger with bacon and cheese and a large onion ring or a large fries. That's a good cheat meal. And if you really want to go quality, you go to Hop Dotties or Mighty Fine. Sonic, Michael says, my wife loves Sonic. I don't dislike it. I think it's a little bit maybe lower quality. We've got a Sonic really close also. Not on my regular list unless I want a shake. It's an easy, decent shake. Five Guys, yeah, Jim. We have a Five Guys maybe 10 minutes away. I haven't been there in, I can't even remember. It's probably been a decade. The only thing I know about Five Guys not far from me is there was a shooting at the one close by me that shut down the entire shopping center about 6 months ago. And apparently it was a random shooting. A guy walked in, shot 2 people, and allegedly didn't know them. So I don't know what's up with these crazy people these days. But it was one of those scenes where you had 50 police cars there making sure that we didn't have an active shooter event. Did you guys, speaking of police cars, did you guys see in the news that someone drove their car into an emergency room hospital here in Austin and died? I haven't checked if there was an update on that story, but that hospital is like the one that we go to. It's literally right up the road. I know that emergency room well because anytime something happens or we're sick, that is where we go. And yeah, somebody drove their car straight through the emergency room doors. It looked like to me, from the angle that I was looking at, into the main reception desk, and had their foot on the accelerator because I could hear the tires spinning and the smoke billowing into the waiting room there. The driver died, injured a lot of people that were sitting there in the waiting area. And I haven't checked the news to see if they were having a medical issue. That's kind of what I thought. Maybe someone was having a heart attack and just kind of like died and drove right on in. Corey says he works at White Spot. What is White Spot? That reminds me of another. What are those little? Oh, is it something Crystal? The little tiny square burgers. White Spot. Oh, that looks pretty good. We don't have those here. Not that I'm aware of. But the first picture that came up looks pretty good. It looks like they're all up in British Columbia area. White Castle, yeah. When when we're on a drunken rampage on Bourbon Street, we usually end up in the White Castle shop in New Orleans. That's about the extent of my experience with White Castle. Michael says, which places besides Den report earnings so far? Are you talking about who's going to report after hours today? I'm not sure if that's your question, but these are the ones that we're going to be looking at after hours today. Applied Material, Coinbase, DoorDash, DraftKings, Roku, Toast, Open Door, and Trade Desk. I see somebody mention Culver's. I like Culver's. Yeah, Jim. That's a solid choice for a real franchise type place. They have the, what do they call it? The cement shakes. Texas should secede already. I'd be down for that. I think we'd be fine. Nutter butter. Let's secede and close the borders. Nobody else allowed in. Even if you're from California. Sorry. We've got enough. We're trying to get rid of the ones we got. Nothing against Californians, but, I mean, in my town, they're ruining it. Just saying. Dan's over in the UK. He says we have a Wendy's and Popeyes starting up over here. We have only one Hooters in the entire whole of the UK. Man, Dan. Wings places here, Dan, besides Hooters are literally, at least where I live, they're a dime a dozen. We got any number of different wing choices. Even you can even order wings from Domino's Pizza, Dan. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but that is a very popular meal over in Texas. Obviously, I'm not allowed to go to Hooters, Dan. You can imagine why. AUUD is kicking ass, Andre says. Let's check it out, Andre. That is not bad, my friend. For a penny stock, 21 cents to 39 cents. I don't see any company news today, although there looks like there was some in the past couple weeks. Brahms, Candace says, has good burgers. I have not been to a Brahms. It's not something that we have here locally that I'm aware of. King Louis says, have you taken Scarlett to Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras? I lived in Biloxi for a year, King Louis, and when I was going through my military training, obviously, basic is in San Antonio, but for electronics, I was in Biloxi for a year, and we would do a lot of weekend trips in my 20s, right? Early 20s, to Biloxi, to New Orleans for Mardi Gras and just carousing around. And so I've been to Mardi Gras many times. I don't think that my wife has been to a Mardi Gras, but we've been to New Orleans quite a few times, either for food vacation. They have the casinos there. Harrah's is always sending me free nights, free weekends. And so if we want an inexpensive, all expense paid vacation, we just got to get ourselves there. But yeah, I mean, she might like to experience the craziness of Mardi Gras. I like to go there for food, and I don't like dealing with the crowds. So I'd prefer to go on an off weekend where I don't got to wait in line every damn place that you go to, if you know what I mean. Rambo says, I'm from California and I don't like Californians. Corey says, building walls and stuff messes with the ecosystem and animals too. Yeah, I mean, that is a fair statement, Corey. Let's not wall off Texas. Let's just close the borders. We could put some razor wire around the entire state, build a couple of turtle tunnels. These were our daily runners this morning. JXJT, it has sold off all the gains of the day. DXF, same thing. CHNR, also coming down. NNNOX. This is what makes trading a lot of these so hard is you gotta be in and pre-market the vast majority of the time. The vast majority, not all the time, but you want to get out of them right before the market opens. And then that one time where it keeps going, you'll be like, damn it, I should have held it. Went up another 600%. But more often than not, they get the news and in after hours or pre-market and sell off later in the day. We got about 30 minutes till the market closes. Spam call. I'm waiting for an attorney call back to put the screws on some people that are saying untrue things. But so I might have to put the mic on mute if that call comes in. But that was not it. Palantir 2537 as we are closing out the day. AMC 488, GameStop 1444, and the SPY hanging out still just under 502. Headstock Harem, I have a guitar on order now as of last night. It is official. Let me see if they sent me a confirmation of shipment yet. I did go to Guitar Center yesterday and walked around at lunch. They didn't have what I wanted in stock. And despite all the employees there and staying there a good 30 minutes, I could not get one person to help me. So I left. And I kind of already knew what I needed. So I came home and put the order in online. And yeah, no, I got a confirmation of the order. Last night, I ordered a guitar and some of your basic accessories you need. Tuner, picks, guitar stand. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to buy a case or not. I probably need to check my humidity levels here in the house. And so, yeah, it should be here. I don't know, in a few days, a week. I'll let you know when I get the shipment confirmation. I ended up picking a Guild guitar. Guild is the brand name. Like I was saying the other day, you know, if I end up enjoying it, and if I am able to practice and you know, over the next couple of years get good, maybe I'll spend a lot more money on something better. But I was trying to stay in the $500 to $900 range. Michael says, which reported good earnings this morning and this week? Was that a question? Like what companies reported good earnings? I know Lyft. Lyft was one of the promising ones this week. Who else had good earnings this week? That's the one that stands out. Yeah, they had a big run up based on a mistake in their earnings release, but they upped their guidance for the year. Let's see if it's holding. Yeah. 1915. I mean, that's not too bad. It was $7.85 back in May of last year. It was $12 a couple days ago. Dan says, Frank's Red Hot Sauce Wings with Domino's. Okay. In the UK, that's your choice. My wife and I always have an argument, Dan, because she doesn't like wings with, it's not really an argument, but we have to order two different things because she doesn't like wings with the bone in it. She wants the boneless wings. Something about being an animal lover. She can't eat any meat that has bones in it. Just give me that processed little chicken breast square. Anya says violin. Did someone mention a violin, Anya? If the Titanic happens. You're reminding me of a bad joke, Anya, talking about the Titanic theme song. I wish I had that on on my soundboard here. I have it in the in the Discord. I wonder if you guys can hear our Discord sounds if I play it. I think I have that set to my headset. Video, voice. Let me know if you can hear this sound. Iceberg, right ahead! The memories. Can you hear that okay, Anya? What did KLG report on February 13th? I can't remember. They had their earnings. Let's look at this chart one more time. All right. I don't remember that they what these headlines say. I don't remember if we talked about this. That was 2 days ago. It wasn't on my list of ones to keep an eye out for. Kellogg, so I think we didn't talk about it. Let's take a look real quick. Kellogg's reported adjusted earnings of 18 cents per share. Analysts had been expecting 21. Wait. Yeah, the mean was 21 cents. The range was 17 to 30. Revenue for Kellogg's was 651, beating expectations of 645. And I'm presuming there must have been some management guidance to get that kind of push it up on the price. Let me see what else we see here. Yeah. So they upped their guidance for 2024 with a prior estimate for adjusted EBITDA of 255 to 265 million. They upped that by about $10 million, saying they now expect adjusted EBITDA for the year between 265 and 270 million. With that upped guidance, you would expect to see the price go up a little bit, as the price is generally reflective of your future earnings. So when management tells you that we expect better earnings, then the price is going to move to meet that. Do they have a dividend on Kellogg's? Let me see. My gut guess is yes, but I don't know. I don't know if I've ever owned Kellogg's. They do. They have an annual dividend of about 64 cents per share, paid every 3 months. Next ex-dividend date is February 29th. The record date is March 1st, and it will be paid on March 15th. Delta Gamma says, check out NMDM. All right, let's see. Not familiar with that ticker off the top of my head. Oh, Nano Dimension. That company sounds familiar. Whee, look at that chart. $2 up to 270, not too bad. In the past month or so. What's the deal with NNDM? Let me get educated again here real quick. One of these Israeli companies, I think we might have talked about this 6 or 12 months ago briefly. 3D printers. It looks like they have some other technology, if I'm reading this correctly. Capacitors, antennas, coils, transformers, and electromechanical components. Digital light processing printers. All right, let's see what their financials look like. NMDM. Just a quick peek to see if this is one that we or any of you might want to dig into, since the price is well off of the highs. It was previously over 18 bucks. Let's see if we can, that was back in 2021. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. Revenue growth curve looks okay on an annual basis. No, that's quarterly, sorry. Operating income looks like that's where the problem is. Negative, as far back as I can see, they haven't made a positive operating income. Net income, 1 quarter, they had a positive operating income. So that's something you would want to understand if they're going to turn that around. If your DD tells you that based on what they're saying and what their plan is, they can fix the business to start generating a profit. Earnings per share have all been negative except for 1 quarter back in 2022. And have they done any dilution? No, not really. So you got to understand that that net income situation. That'd be one thing to focus on. Cash has been drawn down from about 1.1 billion to 489 million. Oh, sorry. Let's look. They have short-term investments, so let's be more fair. Let's look at cash and cash equivalents. 1.3 billion-ish to 872. So that's not as bad. Not as bad as just looking at the cash, but it is on the decline. I'm sure that 872 million, how long is that going to last them? Looks like it should last them quite a while. Looking at the income statement. Working capital is beautiful. 900 million in current assets, only 37 million in current liabilities. Balance sheet looks great. What are analysts saying? I don't see any analyst numbers on here. Yeah, I mean, there's some good things about this company and there's some bad things. So you want to make sure that you understand everything on here. If you're dabbling in that one for long term. If you're just trading it, looks like a really great short-term trading chart right here based on momentum. Yeah, Kellogg's dividend was 64 cents. And there is a upcoming dividend payment in March with the ex-dividend date of February 29th.
Don't make me come visit you, Donny. I buy the dip, it dip more. I buy again, it dip even more.
Where's my favorite sound? Oh, this one.
Hold for me, I'll hold for you.
The motto of retail. Dan thinks that I should have bought a violin. I have an acquaintance, Dan, that is an accomplished professional violin player. And I'm just going to say, Dan, if you're good at the violin, that man can pull some women, Dan. But he plays a mean-ass violin. And his violin looks like something straight out of hell that the devil would play. It's not your traditional violin. What do we got? About 10 minutes till we hear the after hours earnings on these companies that we're watching. Everything else is kind of settling down for the day. Not a lot of last minute volatility here. GameStop looks like they're going to close slightly up for the day. AMC up probably a couple percent. We got 1 day left in the trading week. Remember, here in the US, the markets are closed on Monday for President's Day. Did anybody do something that you want to share with the group for Valentine's Day for your significant other? I know Dan cooked some steaks. Anya says she held on to Rumble. I see our boy Matt Kors pumping Rumble all the time, Anya. High short interest, yada, yada, yada. $3 up to $8.36. I haven't looked at the finances of Rumble recently, Anya, so let's do that real quick. Why could Rumble possibly be being shorted? I wonder. I need to get on Rumble and check out their creator studio that they recently released. flat on revenue, operating income. I mean, you wonder why something's getting shorted, and you look at the operating income just exploding the wrong way every quarter. Net income, trash. They've never reported a positive quarter yet. I'm not saying that Rumble is trash, right? All of these companies can be turnarounds. I'm just saying, if you're trying to understand what is happening right now, you start right here. Earnings per share, not too exciting yet. They're going to have to convince me that they have some growth, that they can overcome these income statement problems. Let's see if we got a better story on the balance sheet. They're burning up their cash slowly, but they still have $267 million, and that will last them for a while, so they're okay. Balance sheet looks all right. Long-term debt, no long-term debt to mention. Working capital situation's fine. They got an income statement problem. Michael says, how long am I going to be here after hours? Probably, Michael, until we get the bulk of the earnings on these companies that I care about, just to see, you know, how our tomorrow is going to be. Applied Materials, I want to see. Coinbase, I want to see. DoorDash, Roku, DraftKings, and TOST I threw in there as a bonus. I don't really care about TOST. That is another one of those, you know, when you check out, what do they call that technology? Point of sale. You might have seen TOST. Slide your credit card in there. And another one on tap for today is Open Door, which I haven't really thought about Open Door since they IPO'd a long ass time ago. I used to actually use their app to make reservations. I thought it was a cool thing back in the day. Why does this chart only show 2020? Did they get taken private for a while and then relaunch? I mean, I remember, or am I thinking about a different company? This is a different company. All right. What is the one that Open Door is a real estate company? What is the damn one that had an app where you could make a reservation just about at any restaurant? That's, you know, they started trading around the year 2000. I was thinking that was Open Door, but must be getting confused. Back in the .com era. Bob, what's going on? How's your afternoon? For some reason, I thought it had the word open in it. Let me see if I can. Open table. Yes, that sounds correct. Are they still around? It looks like they are. Open table restaurant reservations. It is, you know, a pretty handy app where you can search by time and date and number of people, and it will tell you every restaurant that's a member of Open Table in your area that has a opening. Like maybe you wanted to go to Perry's Steakhouse, but they are not available. So I want to see all steakhouses without having to call them. All steakhouses that have a reservation open at 7 p.m. tonight. and it gives you all of them in one, and not only at your time, but before or after. So it's a pretty cool app. But for whatever reason, I used to use it a lot. I guess because I used it because I was buying the stock. I don't know if it's still a public company or not. Their ticker symbol was open also. It says that in 2014, the company agreed to a takeover offer by Priceline. So I guess they're under the Priceline umbrella now. And in that, as part of that Priceline agreement, OpenTable would continue to operate as a separate business under the same management. Well, there you go. Two minutes to the bell.
Isolde. Bambi.
Come on, AMC. Let's close over $5 today. How about that? One minute. I don't think we're going to get 9 pennies. But we'll take another green candle on the daily. How about that? That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles in a row. Wow, wow, wow. It's very nice. All right, I'm going to shift over to the companies that have earnings today and look at those charts. Tomorrow morning, if you weren't here this morning, just a reminder, I'll be live around, actually, I'm going to come live around 7:15 a.m. tomorrow. And we'll be live streaming the Cinemark earnings call and management discussion and the Q&A from analysts to give us a heads up of what AMC can expect in 2 weeks or 13 days. I was looking at the box office numbers for Q1 in February. They're pretty weak, but we're going to be not talking about Q1. We're going to be talking about Q4, the one that ended in December. Roku plummeting right here, plummeting. Applied Materials running up. Coinbase getting some love. Let's see if we got some Roku news. So if you're up early, join me. If you're in the UK or Europe, spend the middle of your day with us tomorrow and listen in on the Cinemark if you're following cinema companies. Do I think DraftKings beats? I don't know. I haven't been following DraftKings close. DKNG. It's been one of those ones that is always on the cusp of me buying it, and I keep on not pulling the trigger. I sure should have back here in 2022 when it bottomed out, though. I don't have anything in that segment in my portfolio, so I should probably give them a look if they beat today. Applied Materials came in at $2.13 adjusted earnings per share. Analyst estimate was $1.91. That is why that is running. Sales also beat. Estimates were $6.48 billion, and they came in at $6.7 billion. Nice, healthy beat on both earnings and sales. So unless they give a poor guidance update, Applied Materials looks like that's going to be a winner in after hours. Let me see if we got any news on DraftKings yet. Still waiting. Roku. All right, Roku reports Q4 earnings disappointment, negative 55 cents earnings. Hang on. Maybe I'm reading that backwards. It says negative 55 cents versus negative 65 cent estimate. Revenue 984 million versus estimates of 960. So they beat on revenue. It looks like they beat on revenue and they beat on earnings, but we're still dealing with negative earnings. Let me pull up their income statement real quick. On a quarterly basis, last quarter they had negative earnings of $2.33. It's kind of been all over the map, but a lot of negative earnings for the last 6-7 quarters. And they issued guidance for fiscal year 24 that they will be adjusted EBITDA positive. That I don't read that as positive earnings per share, but it is. They are giving guidance that they will have positive adjusted EBITDA. All right, looks like DraftKings out now. Still don't see any data on it though. Maybe people are just buying in anticipation. Applied Materials still moving up, 187 to 216. Very nice. Coinbase was trying to move up and it's coming down. Let's see if we got Coinbase news. Still waiting. DoorDash, what doing? All right, fourth quarter revenue for DoorDash, 2.3 billion, beating estimates of 2.24 billion. Why is it going down? Let's keep reading. Fourth quarter loss per share is 39 cents. Improved over a year-over-year basis, which was a year ago, $1.65. Sales rose 4.4% to 125. Wait. Let me pull up Dash on my stock analyzer. I'm not sure if I believe what this account on. Yeah. All right, we got more people reaffirming. Revenue 2.3 billion, beating estimates at 2.24 billion. Orders for Q4 574 million versus estimates of 561. I want to see that press release from the company. And while we're still waiting on DraftKings, let's talk about TOST real quick. Revenue for the fourth quarter grew 35% year over year to $1 billion, not too shabby. Net loss was, though, $36 million in Q4 compared to a net loss of $99 million a year ago. A decent, healthy improvement. Adjusted EBITDA was $29 million in Q4 compared to adjusted EBITDA of negative $18 million. So they're making headway. Net cash provided by operating activities of $92 million. Free cash flow of $81 million for Q4. Improvements on in both of those metrics as well. So not profitable yet, but they are closing the gap. TOST. TOST. All right, while we're waiting on DraftKings, I'm going to read a few more questions here. Michael says Apple is spiking. Let me check on my meme stocks here real quick. And we'll look at our blue chips. What news, Apple? See any? Apple is actively working on integrating an AI tool for the upcoming release of its Xcode. He just mentioned AI in a press release, and apparently you get to run. But yeah, that's a nice push up. Almost 1% after hours for Apple. Yada, yada, yada. What's going on with GameStop? Nothing. On the news, yeah, Roku getting beat up the worst right now, down 14%. And Applied Materials doing the best in after hours, up 9%. I don't know, based on looking at the results for Roku. I mean, they still had a loss, but not as bad as estimates. Their revenue beat, and their Q1 guidance was increased. So I'm not sure why it's getting beat up. But I'm only reading summaries, so. Yeah, George, I've been watching LICN. It's getting. This is another one of those Chinese stocks, guys, that I've been trading, and I'm not in it because it's been getting run down. But has been getting run down from $2 down to almost $1. What was that? What was that damn candle? Here we go. Look at the after hours on this shit. We were talking earlier about how these things, these Chinese stocks that are just pieces of crap, explode out of nowhere. Here you go. $1 up to $3 after hours. Did they have news? Of course not. But you guys have heard me talk about this one in the Discord and on this channel from time to time, that I was trading this stock for potential explosive upward movement. And I was watching it go down to $1. I was like, should I? I don't know. There's a lot of red candles here. I don't want to catch a falling knife. Maybe they're done with it. And then what happens today? Yeehaw! Just a 200% move, you know, for no reason whatsoever. Free float is 5.8 million on this stock if you're thinking about taking a look at it. I am not in it because I was waiting to see if it dropped below $1. My loss. But we definitely I have eyes on this one every damn day, and I have been trading it, but not for the run down. I was looking for a point to jump back in. David says, isn't DraftKings tomorrow? Not to my knowledge. I see a lot of people on Twitter impatiently waiting the DraftKings results. Everybody's kind of collectively scratching their heads, wondering what the heck, where results? George says, I watched you this morning discussing Chinese runners. I jumped in 2 hours ago. You jumped in on Lycan, George? Please tell me yes. You're going to make my day. If you snag some of that for this run up. It's been having some pre-market spasms that were getting my attention. 2 days ago, it went from $1.14 to like $2 for a few minutes, and then came back down to 91 cents. I was like, I don't know if that's the bat signal. Should I buy it at 90 cents? Should I buy it at $1? It looks like they're about to make it happen. And I second guessed myself, George. It's been a while since I have gone through. I've got a list of about 40 or 50 Chinese stocks. I need to maybe this weekend spend, Lycan, I called out 2 or 3 of them in the Discord maybe a quarter ago. Lycan was one of them. I need to go through the list and look through all the charts and see if I can find some new ones for us to pay attention to that maybe are on the cusp of having some explosive movement. And again, these are not, there's nothing about any of these companies DD-wise that I can tell you. Balance sheet, income statement, they're just Chinese pump and dumps. I don't talk to anybody on the phone from China. I don't have any secret Hong Kong connections. But I did pull out Lycan just by looking at the chart and the trading action a quarter or so ago. And I'd like to identify 1 or 2 more. I'm going to give DraftKings about 10 more minutes. All right, George said that he did indeed buy Lycan today. God bless you. George, have you had that one on your watch list since we called it out a couple months ago? Steven says, be careful with Lycan. They just dropped a filing. Just be careful with all of these Chinese companies, period. Like literally, there's nothing good about these companies. If you get a run up, take some or all of your money off the damn table. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not calling a single one of these out because there is anything I believe in about them other than the charts look like they want to have one of those weird Chinese spikes. I want to make that perfectly clear. If you're up, take some or all of your money off table. If you want to let a little bit ride for a magic trip to the moon, you can do that. That's on you, but these things can come down as fast as they go up. And I've seen some, you guys have seen them too, that go from $1 to $20. So I can't tell you what the top is on it, but I don't want to see you make 200, 300% and then lose it 5 minutes later. So. All right, now DraftKings moving. Did we get numbers? Still don't see anything yet. It's either going to be glorious, DKNG, or a major rug pull because they're moving it up after hours. Still no news. Anya says BGLC is a perfect example of what Tony just said. Let's take a look down memory lane at BGLC, Anya. Oh, that's not a Chinese one though, right? Yeah, look at that. 40 cents up to $3.39 and then all the way back down to $1.17. How long did you have to trade that? You had about half a day. I mean, that's better than most, Anya, right? You had a while to think about this one. And who knows, maybe that'll happen with Lycan. It's already coming back down, so be careful. Dan, speaking of dim sum, you're making me damn hungry. Oh no, DraftKings, what happened? Big red candle. Did we get news? Someone said earnings at 4:30, call at 8:30 a.m. All right. Let's see. Maybe, and for whoever was saying isn't DraftKings tomorrow, maybe that's what you meant. They're on tap to release earnings today, but perhaps the call is tomorrow. Let me just double check. Yeah, that is true. The earnings will be released today, and the call is tomorrow morning. We'll be hosting the Cinemark call in the morning, so I won't be able to listen in on the DraftKings when it's happening, but we will get the results today for both fourth quarter and the full year 2023. And I guess that'll be in about 5 minutes. So. It's a nail biter. Hero of the day, good afternoon to you. This is crazy. Yeah, we're waiting allegedly 4 more minutes till we get the actual numbers for DraftKings. And then once we get those numbers, I'm going to call it a day, go out and finish up my project outside. I feel like I've been going to the gym for the last 3 days, Anya. DoorDash tumbling in after hours, Roku tumbling down 17% on Roku down 8% on DoorDash earnings. Coinbase up 6%. Applied Materials up almost 11%. And TOST looking good, up 10%. The other one that I don't have a chart up here for is Trade Desk, TTD. That one is doing quite well. Let's throw it up on the big chart here. While we're waiting on DraftKings. TTD up almost 19% in after hours. Gotta love that. Kathy, good evening to you over in the UK. Anya says it's in the 40s over there, and you're in Maryland, right, Anya? Hey Siri, what is the temperature outside?
It's currently 72 degrees.
72 degrees here, Anya. King Louis, sure, I'd like to see your project for the last 6 months. What kind of project are you working on? Anya, I'm gonna finish up the compost station renovation today. I've got one door left to hang. I ended up completely redoing the entire thing. So that's why a 1-day project turned into a 3-day project. Then we're gonna do the indoor seedling planting. I've got to till all the compost into the garden. And then these are all separate projects for the next week. Compost station will be redone by today. And then we'll move on in a week or two to fixing up the rainwater collection system. And then we'll be ready to plant. By the time I get all that done over the next few weeks, get the seedlings all started inside, then should be able to start transplanting in about a month. Yeah, send it over, King Louis. Home renovation. Oh, man, I love that. If I had a dream job right now, King Louis, if I could find affordable properties, hands down. Now, I have no professional experience doing complete home renovation, but definitely an area of interest I'd love to chat with you about. When I had the rental properties, I did the vast majority of the repairs myself. I can do light electrical, light plumbing, but I pulled in contractors when I needed for tile and roof and stuff like that. But yes, if I wasn't day trading every day and I could find the right properties at the right price that would cash flow, I'd go buy some rundown property that had good bones and completely redo it, and then either rent it or flip it. It's quite a feeling of accomplishment when you can walk in, see what needs to be done in your brain, and then over a period of months or a year, make it happen. I'd love to see your project. All right, it's 3:32 p.m. here. Let's see if we got DraftKings numbers yet. All right, we got it. And it looks good on adjusted earnings per share, 29 cents versus estimate of 8 cents. Sales was a little bit of a miss, 1.23 billion versus an estimate of 1.24. Monthly unique payers increased 37% to 3.5 million average monthly unique customers. And they raised 2024 revenue guidance from 4.69 billion to 4.775. So then the question is, why is it down 4%? Let's keep reading. They also raised adjusted EBITDA guidance. I don't see anything jumping out at me here why it would be trading in the red on that news. Let's just look at one other thing. Let's see if DraftKings got ahead of the skis prior to earnings, DKNG. Yeah, well, I mean, $10 up to $45 since the end of 2022. I don't know. DKNG, what's their PE ratio is -29, so not DoorDash. A decent table here on the quarterly revenue. Operating income, this is a problem. One problem that they need to address. Probably why I keep avoiding DraftKings, but god damn that chart, man. 4x your money. Negative operating income. Net income, same thing. Nothing but negative on earnings per share. When I'm looking around and I'm looking for what do I want to park my money in, I'm not looking for a bunch of these. But who can argue with the chart? Current assets 1.9 billion versus current liabilities 1.5 billion. That's fine. Cash and cash equivalents slowly getting drawn down from 3 billion to 1.5. I mean, there's I got my questions about DraftKings. We got an average analyst forecast of $39. This is why I haven't bought DraftKings, even though the chart says it's a screaming buy based on momentum over the last year. The numbers aren't screaming to me that this is a safe investment yet. All right, guys, that is what we hung out for here, just to see how some of these companies performed. Let me just check, because Trade Desk is going up so nicely. Oh, look, Lycan's still going too, LICN. It's getting a second breath. Let's watch this for a second. I'm going to pull up the financials on the Trade Desk. TTD. It's got a average price target of $84, a high of 103, and it's currently up 19% from market close to $90. Just want to take a look at how their financials look. Very nice on revenue. Okay on operating income, a little bit of mixed results. Net income, mostly steady and mostly, not increasing, but there's a lot of positive on the net income. Only 2 negative quarters in the last 5-6 years. Balance sheet looks solid. I mean, this is one to put on your list as a definite solid play, TTD. And then once we have it on our list, then we got to figure out what is the right value to buy at so that we're not buying at the top. TTD. Easy double your money in the last 12 months. 43 to $90 on a healthy company. All right, I'm going to turn off the camera. We're going to put liking up. I'm going to go cook some food, but I'm going to maybe let the live stream run for a few more minutes while we see what happens with LICN. And I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Let me see if we got any. We got one last question from Jason. Can you check IVP? Yeah. Jason, you're the last question of the day. Inspire Veterinary Partners. Let me see what we got here, Jason. Looks like they have data going back only to 2021, but the top line revenue is growing. Operating income, unfortunately, has all been negative. Net income has all been negative and not getting better. Almost negative 8 million compared to, they were posting losses of negative 1 to 1.5, and earnings per share took a spanking along with that negative net income. I don't know the story on this company, obviously, of why that happened, but that'd be something to go look into. And what's their turnaround projections for when they're going to get profitable? Current assets to current liabilities looks fine. Total assets to total liabilities looks fine. Long-term debt is decreasing, so balance sheet is okay. Income statements where you'd want to focus. And I know that because my wife is in this industry, there are some companies that are going around and buying up all the small individually owned vet hospitals. I don't know if Inspire is one of those, but for the some of it's being done by private equity, and I don't know anything about Inspire, but it says they own and operate hospitals in the U.S. So some of these companies, as they spend a lot of money and they know they're going to lose money for a while till they scale their size, kind of like what AMC did with theaters, right? And then you hope that you can use economies of scale to turn the business overall profitable and drive for, same software, same training, nationwide on all your locations. So I don't know if that's the case with this company. It might just be early for them. Looks like they had a public offering 2 days ago also for $4 million. Company intends to use this $4 million for strategic acquisitions, the engagement of third-party marketing and business consultants, working capital, and general corporate purposes. The public offering consists of 47 million shares of common stock, pre-funded warrants in lieu of shares. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Let's see. Let's see one other thing here. Yeah. They did a big dilution at the end of 2023 from 10 million shares to 68 million shares. So, yeah, I mean that's why they're getting spanked a little bit. And then on top of that, this gray bar is going to be probably your warrants. They can dilute up to 80 million shares. Why does it say on Webull that the free float is 21 million? And it says in dilution tracker, oh, that's outstanding. Yeah, even on Webull it says outstanding 21 million, and here we have 68 million. I don't know. I don't know if that is if the brokers haven't updated their share count yet. But if that happened in a month ago, it should be updated by now. January 2024 S1 offering 47 million shares. February 2024 warrants. I mean, there's a lot that concerns me here. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, Anya, it's a 12-cent stock. I'm just going to say there's a lot that concerns me. I don't have time to go in and read all those filings, but if I was invested in that company, I'd go read all those filings, find out for myself what is really the float, because dilution tracker is telling me it's 68 million shares. And even though IVP. Maybe I was looking at the wrong stock. Yeah, Webull says outstanding 21 million. I would believe dilution tracker over Webull. It's often early and rarely wrong, dilution tracker. Have a good evening, ladies and gents. I'm going to turn the camera off, heat up some food, and watch the fireworks on LICN. And I will see y'all in the morning, 7:15 a.m. Central, 8:15 a.m. Eastern for the Cinemark conference call and earnings. Have a good one, and we'll see you bright and early.